Welcome, everybody. Joe with ECRM here, and I have with me Craig Harlan, who's the Vice President of Sales at Earth Friendly Products, which are the makers of the Ecos brand. So, Craig, thank you for joining us.
Joe, thank you very much for this opportunity to be able to connect and talk.
So, Craig was a participant in our recent pet virtual session, and we're going to talk a little bit about his experience there. But before we get into that, Craig, can you give us an overview of the company and the products, specifically the pet products that you guys make?
Absolutely. No, Joe, we're Earth Friendly Products is the company. Ecos is our brand. Family owned, female led. We've been doing this since 1967, more time than anyone else in our particular space. And we're the independent. We manufacture in the USA. We have 4 facilities that are strategically located, and with sustainability being so important, we're at the top of the pyramid there, especially for a better for you brand. Our facilities are zero waste platinum certified, carbon neutral, and water neutral. The pet lineup that we recently featured here at ECRM has in fact, we have more Safer Choice certifications for our whole product line than anybody else in our space. And we also introduced the first ever Safer Choice certified pet shampoo, which is human grade because we're Leaping Bunny certified. We don't test on animals. So Joe, if we happen to run out of shampoo, we could always borrow from our pets because this is the real deal. Yeah, what's exciting too is that each facility makes over 200 items. So in addition to pets, we have laundry and dishwashing and household cleaning, ice melt, one that's also pet friendly, hand soap, air care, and a full commercial cleaning line. So we like to say safer for people, pets, and the planet. And with the trends around in me, on me, around me, and how everyone's looking for a healthier environment, it's a great place to be. And we're really fired up and excited because not only is it supporting local jobs throughout the community, but it's doing the right thing for our environment and the right thing for our people and those that interact.
Well, I think in this day and age, like you said, people are really a lot more cognizant of cleaning products and wellness just in general. And then the fact that you guys are made here is another big plus too, with all the supply chain issues that have happened with overseas companies. So a lot going in your favor. So how has the pandemic impacted your business, both on the product side, but also just your day-to-day operations and how you go about engaging with buyers and retailers?
We got out of the gate January, February with 2 very solid months. When you look at the trends currently in cleaning, the categories are relatively flat. The growth is coming from the better for you companies. So we're definitely at the forefront of that wave. And it's also about transparency because the consumer, as well as retailers, they want to know who's making their product, right? Is it a family-owned company? Where is it manufactured? Is it a company that's owned by a chemical company, which we're not? So the beauty is we're seeing that nice run-up. We got into March, the pandemic hit, and boy, just business absolutely exploded, all in a good way. Controlling your own supply chain was so key because of those 4 facilities, and each one stands alone for its geographical area. Where we needed to, we were able to shift from one area to another. Where the supply chain really got hit was the components, right? The bottle, the caps, and things like that. We've got great relationships. Again, when you've been doing this 53 years, we've got great local partners that ramped up and helped us out on that. And it's kind of, you think of patriotism, right? And it's like we talked to our team and like our owner CEO was mentioning, it's an act of patriotism is really everybody leaning in and doing what's right for our citizens, and to be able to produce a better for you cleaning product without those toxic chemicals we were all excited about. So March, the business just went absolutely crazy, and into April, all in a good way. A whole bunch of new business, existing business, of course, going big. What we found is that buyers, meetings, trade shows, everything's been canceled. Travel lockdowns, I haven't traveled since the 1st of March. So it's kind of a new normal, right? So you have buyers that are that are working from home, doing business via email, category reviews kind of pushed off and on. So a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, I think that's a key term. Is there's just that nobody knows what's going to happen, and yeah, you might see some areas, flattening the curve. Others are spiking up now. There's questions about whether it's going to come back or is it going to come back worse. So you just don't know. So, which leads us to the virtual session and why, that's why we launched the virtual sessions because, we wanted to provide something for buyers and suppliers to engage with each other regardless of what happens. And so I thought what was really cool is that this was your first experience with ECRM. I've talked to a few people that have, been to our in-person sessions and, so they're a little bit familiar. So what were your initial thoughts just out of the blue when you learned about our virtual sessions and just what were your thoughts going into that?
You put your annual plans together, right? And I signed up for ECRM PEP, which is concluded. I have the baby session coming up as well. We have a partnership with Walt Disney. We do a Disney baby cleaning line. And ready to go, started the presentations, kind of the onboarding conversations, and all of a sudden it's like, well, wonder what's going to happen here. The decision came out to go virtual. And, for me, I'll be honest, the flag kind of went up. Was really fired up and looking forward to the in-person play. Virtual is that uncertainty, right? What's it going to look like? Is it, hey, here's the money and here's your link and go get them, Bubba, right? And what happens if you get in there? Who hasn't had a presentation where something through technology didn't go awry, right? Yep. So you're looking at these appointments. I had 35 appointments set up, right? Well, you talk about, some uncertainty there. So I was very skeptical going in, I will admit. That being said, my account executive reached out. We talked through it, and here's where I was so impressed with your team is that, again, I found the experience not to be transactional. I found it to be very personable. I found it to be collaborative and a real partnership, right? Because it was, okay, here's the site, here's how you build everything up for, the retailers and buyers to see who you are. Walk me through all those various different steps, numerous different check-ins. Then we go to the virtual piece. Okay, let's go on the platform. Who's going to be there? Let's load up your deck. We did a couple of practice sessions. I mean, the preparation in advance, right? Mm-hmm. So you think about 35 different meetings. I knew in advance how the system worked, was comfortable using it, but I had the buyer's information, right? I knew their focus. I had company overview, all neatly laid out on a schedule. And, you talk about a turnkey experience. Bravo and kudos. It was very well set up. And then the actual event, 4 half days, right? 35 meetings. I've got 33 follow-ups, and 2 have already happened since. But in the event something happened, and there was one meeting where the buyer's camera didn't click on. Someone jumped right in, solved it, right? If you talk about stress-free, it was virtual. I thought this was amazing. I can't wait to see in person if we can get back, if and when we get back to that, to be honest with you. But
what's interesting is you'll see a lot of parallels between how we do it in person and how we do it virtually, because we'll do the same prep. You're a client success manager, that same high touch. And I think that's what a lot of people overlook on what they think is virtual. We make sure that our people are still there to walk you through, because we know, we're going to have hundreds of different computers, hundreds of different Wi-Fi's, hundreds of different levels of comfort using the technology. So we need to make sure that everybody is very well prepared going in.
Yeah, no, as far as, there's what the adage they say, separation's all about the preparation. And like I said, there's no doubt as far as having that sense of being prepared coming in. Fantastic.
You mentioned you had how many follow-ups, and 2 people already started the process?
Yeah, so we had 35 meetings. It went from Monday through Thursday. Again, half days, very convenient. And what's neat with the virtual is that, it still allowed you time at the beginning and at the end of the day to do, your regular work, right? So it fit in so compact and so nice and so seamless. But yeah, we had 35 meetings, 33 follow-ups. In fact, that's what I'm going to be doing later today. We've got that started, but we've already got 2 that are ongoing and up and running. So
in process, so you're on your way.
Yeah, as far as the quality, and I had a combination of most of mine were 10 minutes, a couple of 20. And, the 10 minutes gets you in front of a key decision maker, gives you a chance to, develop and generate interest, what next steps there are. And that's what you're looking for. 20 minutes, you can go a little bit deeper, but just that agreement of, yeah, let's follow up later.
Yep.
Perfect.
And what we're finding is, because it's virtual, the buyers are tending to respond and set up the follow-up timelines faster because they don't have to dig out, pack, go home, go dig out from all of their emails. They're basically, like you said, they work, they do the meetings, and then they can follow up right afterwards. So we're seeing a lot of that happening.
So you think of 35 meetings, right? So you're thinking, boy, what does this notepad look like as far as filling things out, et cetera? On the site, you can actually type in notes as you go, right? If there's more than one of you, someone can be taking care of that. But once it's over, again, what a cool database. You're able to go in, everybody's contact information's there, the notes, the follow-up, and then through RangeMe, sample requests. It is an incredibly well thought out, well-oiled process as far as, having everything set up. To be able to take those next steps, it's very time friendly, right? So everybody's running and gunning and we're ripping and everything going on with the industry right now. But to be able to have something that is so turnkey is priceless. So as you can tell, I'm a big fan.
Yes, no, I could see that. And, it's good. That's another important point you brought up is the fact that all of the information that you take, the notes and everything, stays within your account. So you can access it, you can share it, you can download it, and use it for your follow-ups too.
I mean, if I'm a supplier and I'm on the fence about ECRM, right? I've seen it, kind of like maybe me in the past, right? I've seen it, I've heard about it, I'm kind of unsure. And here's the advice that I give. If you want to get things done quickly, right? If you want to really meet key decision makers across a broad spectrum, if you want to generate quality leads, but more importantly, you want to grow your business and grow your brand, you need to pick up the phone, email, reach out to the ECRM team. Based on my experience, you will not be disappointed.
Wow, I couldn't have made a better soundbite than that. Well, glad to hear it. So what were your favorite tools? Which tool did you take advantage? You already mentioned the notes and everything.
I like the, it's through once the meeting concludes, you can rate it anywhere from a 1 to 5 star. You can do your notes. The one I really like that I'm in the process of doing right now is the follow-up. Is you go in and you click on your particular customer, right? And it takes you right to their email. So your follow-up's right there, right? So you're not cumbersome trying to add contacts or this or that, right? It's seamless. Boom, it's right there. So again, just that whole ease of the process and the program, it's a time saver.
Well, you just hit on our core function is basically enhancing the effectiveness and efficiency of the buying and selling process. So you just summed it up right there.
Again, I can't stress enough. It's my experience has been anything but a transactional experience. A lot of events, a lot of shows and different things that are out there, right? You pay your money up front, okay, here's your booth, here's your table, etc. Just the personal touch coming in, right? The personal touch ongoing during the program, the follow-up afterwards. When you think about, what separates companies and businesses and things out there, and we're all striving to be that, it's customer service, right? And, you guys are doing all the right things around that, to be able to, make this a program that you really look forward to. And most importantly, for all of us, it delivers results.
That's the most important part. I mean, it could be great service and everything, but if it doesn't do anything for you, why do it? So, well, great. So, what do you see the role of virtual being going forward once this whole pandemic is done? Because now we're all accustomed to interacting this way. Do you see it continuing?
It's going to be interesting. I think from the supplier side, how many CFOs are out there rubbing their hands together saying, boy, look at all these things I can cut out of next year's budget. I think from the retailer side as well, I think that's where it's going to be driven from ultimately, right? As I've talked to buyers, during the course of this and those that have participated and, kind of what I could sense from the conversations that I had here recently on ECRM, this virtual platform is very convenient and it's very effective, right? And I think as people get more comfortable with it, I think there will be some time savings, how many people are going in and out of offices for face-to-face meetings. Again, I think the retailers are going to drive it, but I think we're going to see a paradigm and a shift to more of these. I think the face-to-face is never going to go away, different industry events, charity things, et cetera. I think once safety comes about and we're all good with that, I think that's never going to go away. But I think virtual is here to stay. I'd be really surprised if this is just a one shot. And kudos to you folks because you're already ahead of the curve.
From what I'm hearing from the buyer side, they absolutely love it. It's the time thing more than anything. For example, I talked to one buyer from Pet, and he mentioned, he'll be able to participate in more categories now because maybe he can fly out once or twice a year, but he just doesn't have the time. Whereas now, like you said, he works in the morning and then he does this in the afternoon, and he can go to our housewares household, our baby, he can go to a lot more. On the supplier side, it's also opening up things in addition to the time savings and the money savings, but also, some suppliers are international and they want to get in front of some of these European retailers, but they would never take the time to go to Europe, but now they can do it. They could just do it virtually. So it opens up, and there's a lot of things that we're learning that, that one buyer brought up to me the fact that how much we reduced our carbon footprint in doing this. Because when you think of all of the flights for all the buyers, all the suppliers, all of the freight coming in, and everything involved, that is a big reduction in carbon footprint. So, so it's got that bonus too. So we're going to have a mix. We're going to have a mix of in-person where it makes sense with, again, the buyers are going to dictate, virtual and others, and then those ESIs, the efficient supplier introductions, we're going to keep those as well. So it's going to be a nice mix going on well past, ongoing, period.
Yeah, I mean, you look at these 10 and 20-minute blocks, right? And if you put yourself in the buyer's shoes and you want to see what else is out there, to have those folks come in and out of your office, I mean, there goes the whole day, right? But to be able to do this virtually, and be able to decide, hey, is this something I want to go further with or not, right? And that works on both sides, right?
Yep.
It's a really nice win-win to be able to get the process started for future business down the road. It's beneficial for both of you.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Craig. I'm glad you had a great experience, and I do look forward to seeing you in person eventually at one of our sessions.
I'm excited and fired up, looking forward to the baby, and absolutely, when in-person comes around, for sure, definitely want to experience what that looks like. Thank you again for the opportunity to connect and for a great program here recently. You guys are doing all the right things, and commend you for that. Keep up the great work.
We will certainly try. All right, you stay safe.
All right, you as well. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks.